Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show performance, a moment dedicated to Drake. So the Super Bowl was held on Sunday, February 9th, and the Philadelphia Eagles went home as the champions, besting the Kansas City Chiefs with 40-22. Congratulations to the Eagles and their fans. However, today's topic is the Super Bowl halftime show, which was headlined by Kendrick Lamar. Now, kdot, a nickname donned by Kendrick and mostly used by his fans, has had a very eventful and successful year following his rap beef with Drake. Many say that he has annihilated Drake and sent him into hiding, a defeat he would not be able to recover from. As a result of the back and forth he engaged in, he has accumulated tremendous success, such as 3 #1 songs, a #1 album, and 5 Grammy Awards. So, it did not come as a surprise when he was announced as the headliner of the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, the NFL would be dumb not to try to capitalize on the impact of Kendrick Lamar's recent feats. That's smart business. Now for his performance, Kendrick performed a setlist of 10 songs that included Squabble Up, his #1 record, the second track on his album titled GNX, Humble, and DNA, both records from his 4th studio album Damn, Euphoria, one of the 8 diss tracks that were aimed at Drake, Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther featuring SZA, all records from GNX, NotLikeUs, his song that many said was the nail in Drake's coffin, and lastly, TV Off. During his performance, many fans took to social media to discuss. Many fans, including media publications, voiced their opinions, stating that it was the worst halftime show in history, despite reports being published that it was the most viewed halftime show ever. In my opinion, his performance wasn't bad, but neither was it great. It was simply okay. I think the negative reactions he received were due to the audience being underwhelmed because he did not live up to the hype surrounding the show. For an artist of Kendrick's caliber, fans knew he could offer more, but he chose to play the industry games by making his headlining debut about his nemesis Drake. Did he get to gloat in Drake's face with the fact that he's headlining the Super Bowl halftime at his expense? Yes. However, the question is, was it worth it, or was it necessary? I think Kendrick squandered his opportunity to introduce himself and his music catalog to an audience outside of his normal demographic. Instead, he chose that very moment to further humiliate Drake by wearing an A minor chain and singing Not Like Us in front of a live audience, accusing his nemesis of pedophilia. Don't get me wrong. If a person is guilty of doing such things and there is substantial proof verified in court, then by all means go ahead and do as you wish. But without that, it's just plain defamatory. Now, I'm not a devoted fan of either of these artists, but I would be lying if I said that they didn't make great music. However, I call it as it is. The beef is over, for now. Kendrick has the upper hand, he made money, and gained awards from it. Performing the diss track at the halftime show was a bad idea. He should have performed some of his other great tracks from his previous albums, letting the audience understand who Kendrick is as an artist, not just the man who engaged in a rap beef and so-called ended Drake's career by calling him a pedophile and hopping around the stage smiling about it, because that's all they are going to remember. For most of his performance, the crowd was silent and the majority were seated and on mute. The only time you heard noise was when Not Like Us came on and people were chanting A minor. Even that was debatable because many speculated that the crowd singing along was fake and that it was sounds playing through speakers across the stadium to make it seem as if the crowd was receptive. What Kendrick needs to realize is that the industry is a game, and even though he decided to play along with it, he is not exempt from their dirty tricks. Drake was, and still is, the biggest male rapper of this time. In terms of accolades, money, influence, and fame, and his peers took turns taking jabs at him. Now, I'm not advocating for Drake, as I don't know the full details of the reason for his demise and/or fallout with his peers. However, what I do know is that Kendrick is nothing more than a pawn in the industry's game. He is the hitman hired to knock Drake off the podium, something that they do to all the great artists who have reached a level of fame and superstardom, a time when the label's influence falters. If they are successful, they replace that artist with another of their choice and place a whole machine behind them, aka payola, and all the promo in the world. While Kendrick may believe that he may be him, he is in for a rude awakening because one slip and he will slide out of their grace and get kicked to the curb. It's a cyclical game. Take Remy Ma, for example. She was fooled into believing that she was going to be the heir to Nicki Minaj's throne. She dropped Sheether and thought it would be the end of Nicki. They gave all the desperate girls their little 15 minutes, then moved on to the next. They went from Cardi B to Megan Thee Stallion, and now they're on to... I think you all know who I'm referring to, but we'll see how that pans out, and that will be for another video. So Kendrick is Remy Ma in this scenario, doing all the heavy lifting with trying to take Drake out, and then the industry will eventually replace him, Kendrick, with another fighter. So who is it benefiting, Kendrick or the industry? I think you know the answer. All I'm saying is that Kendrick should have taken advantage of the opportunity before him and made the Super Bowl a defining moment of his career instead of making it about Drake. Please smash that subscribe button, like, share, and comment below. You've been watching Pop Caliber with SirRevelinit, where we talk about pop stars worth mentioning. Follow at SirRevelinit everywhere. I'll see you in my next release.